Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to make a cottage pie. A cottage pie sometimes is confused for shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie is made with lamb, cottage pie is the same thing but made with beef. Okay. We're going to start with a mirepoix. So I have 2 cups of onions, a cup of celery, a cup of carrots. I've got about 3 tablespoons of oil, 2 tablespoons of garlic. I have 1 teaspoon of pepper, teaspoon and a half of salt, 2 pounds of ground beef, 5 ounces of tomato paste, 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, a 1/4 cup of flour. I've got a bit of thyme and bay leaves from my garden. I have 2 cups of a beef stock. I'm going to deglaze with Guinness. I'm going to use the whole bottle. And then I have a cup of frozen peas. The reason it's in a liquid measure is because I'm going to put some hot water in that, and, or cold water, and defrost that. And we're going to start by sautéing our mirepoix. Alright, I have my oil heated up on a medium heat. I'm going to put in my onions. To put in my carrots, and I'm going to put in my celery. We're just going to let that cook down a bit. You can do this in a saute pan. However, I am using my Dutch oven because this is going to be a one-pot cottage pie. You can roast your mirepoix if you want to, if you're doing something like a soup, or you can roast it, or if you're going to do a clear broth, you can roast them. It'll change the color of what you're making. You want to make sure that everything is the same size so they cook accordingly. I'm just going to pause this. It's cooking nicely. This particular recipe wants me to add the garlic now. As you can see, this is cooking up nicely. So how you cook your mirepoix, it really depends on your recipe. Some may want it completely cooked before you add it in to the remainder of your ingredients. Some want just the onions translucent and the carrots soft. Alright, to continue on with the cottage pie recipe, this mirepoix looks cooked enough for what we need. I do want a little bit of crispness left to these vegetables because I'm not going to do a stovetop. This is actually going to be braised, and I don't want the vegetables to be mush. So at this point I'm going to add the 2 pounds of ground beef, and we're just going to saute that until it's browned up, and we're going to get the flavors of the vegetables into this is browned up really nicely. I don't actually need to deglaze the pan on this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is add the salt and pepper. I'm going to add the flour. This will help thicken it up. And I'm going to mix that in. Ooh, that smells delicious. Mix that in right away. I'm also going to add the tomato paste. And the Worcestershire. And mix that in. I'm still going to add in the deer. You can use, like I said, red wine for this, but I prefer that stout flavor. Oh, that's beautiful. And then the last, well, not last, second last, I'm going to add this beef stock. It's got a beautiful color to it. I'm going to scrape my sides, make sure everything is immersed in water. Actually, I almost forgot the peas. And I'm going to add, it's been washed some thyme and the bay leaves. Again, make sure everything's immersed. I'm going to let this come to a simmer, and then I'm going to cover it, and it's going to go in the preheated oven for about, I'm going to say about 45 minutes. I've got it at 300 degrees. And then what we'll do is at that time I'll take it out and we will put some mashed potatoes on the top. Alright, it's taken this out of the oven. Oh, that's beautiful. It's thickened up nicely. It's got a nice thick gravy to it. What I'm going to do is take out the thyme and the bay leaves now. And then we will top this with potatoes. Alright, so that's taken out of the oven. It looks really nice. I'm just going to top these with dollops of potatoes. You could pipe it on. I'm not getting that fancy. That nice thick gravy is going to help hold these on the top. Okay. Cottage pie does not have a crust. These beautiful layers of potatoes. The potato will act as your top crust. This will go back in the oven to brown for a little bit. Like I said, you could pipe this on if you wanted to. Alright, so as a finishing touch, I'm just going to put some fork lines in here. And then I've gone ahead and grated some butter. I'm just going to sprinkle that on the top. Some people just like to cut dollops onto there. I like to shred it. It's a little hot in my kitchen today. All right, and that will plop back in the oven until that top is brown. All right, here it is out of the oven. It's got some beautiful bubbling around the outside and some nice brown in texture, and then I've topped it with a little bit of summer savory. Let's see what this looks like on a plate. All right, here it is plated. This photo does not do the colors of this justice, nor does the video do the smell of it justice. Here it is beautifully. I've topped it with some parsley and thyme, and then we've got some nasturtium on the side for a nice little peppery back note. Beautiful. It's nice and composed on this side. The structure is holding up here with a little bit of outspill in the front for visuals. Beautiful.